Hello plebs, welcome to Dead by Discussion, where we discuss all things Dead by Daylight. Unfortunately, we're doing this again. Yeah, I know. I really don't want to be here either. I don't, dude. It's sad, but like, I don't know what it is, dude, but like, I think it has a lot to do with just the general state of the game. I don't think the game's going in a good direction right now. So I haven't been playing it. I don't think we're heading in a good direction, and I see the writing on the wall. I'm not saying I'm getting out early. I'm definitely playing it less. I played it I played it a little bit last week, but nothing to the extent of what I was doing this summer, to be sure. And I don't know. I don't even have a thing yet on my hooks, so that's how behind I am. I haven't opened the archives. I haven't done anything yet, bro. So it's gonna be interesting to see how much the game has changed next time I actually decide to actually sit down and play it. But we did get the reveal of the next fucking chapter, which is why I'm here. I'm gonna go over all this fucking shit as much as it fucking pisses me off. This chapter does nothing for me, and I'm just gonna be blunt. I'm just gonna say that. I thought after coming off of Stranger Things, where we have a lot of new players, I still think this chapter was important for keeping people, and I thought this was very weak. It does nothing for me. This does not. And then like the really sad part about that is I've recently gotten into J-horror, and I have started watching a lot more Asian horror movies, but this chapter still does nothing for me. I'm not interested in this at all. And I think it has a lot to do with where the game is going, as I kind of implied earlier. Like, we had the fucking nurse. The nurse left a bad taste in my mouth. But that was kind of like an exchange, you know. They took nurse from us, but they took insta heal from survivors. So it was just like a trade. So I was like, okay, you know, bite the bullet on that. I didn't play nurse, and Omega Blink nurse was a bit silly. So yes, fine. I still think nurse was hit too hard. I think giving her power a fucking cooldown was an absolutely ridiculous way to solve a non-existent problem. Nurse base did not beat survivors. It was even. It was even. You could expect to win 5 games out of 10 if you played nurse at a decent level, with no add-ons, IMO, or like the bad add-ons. You could expect to win around 5 times. She was not OP. So the nurse left a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't know to the extent that insta-heals are fixed. I haven't played, so I can't say. I thought that was a very survivor-favored patch, us losing nurse, because, like it or not, nurse was one of the 2 viable killers we had left. Billy's fallen out of the meta. I think we're all aware of this. M1 killer's just really bad, and it keeps him from being viable. It's sad, but it's true. And then you got Spirit, and here's where I don't get it, people. I don't get why we had to do this. So Spirit got to be number 1 for like 2 weeks, and then boom, we're gonna nerf Spirit now. Like, are you fucking serious? We lost Nurse, and now we're losing Spirit. Who does that leave for high-level killers to pick? May I ask? Hillbilly? Yeah, until he gets 110 movement speed after we nerf him too. Because the fact is, like, this goes back to a video I made a while ago about who are we balancing this game for. I don't think people understand who we're balancing this game for. I think this game gets balanced for green ranks. I really fucking do. I think Spirit and Nurse are both balanced for high level. Yes, I think gen grabbing Spirit is balanced. I think you can beat her if you fucking play the game right. I think gen tapping beats her. If you gen tap and you fucking play the game right, I think there is potential to beat gen grabbing Spirit. Especially if you make her chase you. You can make her chase you if you just gen tap and try to bait her into doing shit. Stay spread out. she doesn't dominate the game, I don't think. I think the add-on nerfs for Nurse and Spirit were both absolutely ridiculous. And they were hit way too hard. Well, just like, all the killers get hit. When behavior nerfs a killer, that killer's taken out of the game. But granted, I think Nurse and Spirit's base kits are going to fucking make sure that they see some level of fucking play. I don't know where they are on the tier list now. I haven't played, so I don't know. I don't know how bad it's gonna be. I don't know to the extent of the Spirit's nurse, and I don't know how nurses have affected her in the long run. I tried to meet him halfway, I really did. And so, we're gonna get into the fucking meat of the issue here. This has nothing to do with chapter fucking 14. I just thought this was very poorly timed. I really think so. So we're talking about how the game gets balanced for green ranks, right? I think people that are green ranks legitimately bitched and bitched and bitched, and the majority of the player base is a fucking low-level survivor. And I think we're catering to the majority for business assets. It's for business purposes, and I can't stand it. It's bad. It's bad game design for high level. The high level players are getting cucked because we have no viable killers to work with now. Playing killer is a not viable decision in Dead by Daylight, because you have no viable killer to choose from. Every killer in this game now has a losing matchup against 4 good survivors. And that's trash game design. I said this before, and now it really holds true. Every killer in this game now needs buffs. Every single one. I say this to you as somebody, I think my highest I've gotten is 7. I've been to purple ranks, I've played red ranks. Every killer in this game needs buffs. I promise you. Every single one. And so, you take Spirit from us, and here's the best part about the whole thing. You take Spirit from us, you say, haha, Spirit's gone. Gen grabbing Spirit's gone. And then you want to put in Oni? Spirit's dad, or whatever the fuck he is? You seriously want to nerf Spirit, and then put out all these fucking teasers like your blood belongs to Yamoka. That doesn't hype me up. That just fucking rubs the salt in my wound. The fact that we just lost Spirit. You want to put out this fucking new killer, Spirit's father, I'm just gonna call it Spirit's dad, at this fucking time where Spirit was just nerfed, and you want to promote Yamoka again. Like, all that does for me is piss me off. And I say that I didn't main Spirit at all, by any stretch. I really like the character, and I think she's strong. But, like, she's not above high tier now, for sure. She lost the thing that made her top tier. So it's like, you want to do all this promotion, and Yamoka is your blood's in Yamoka's hands. The only thing that's going to be in Yamoka's hands is a fucking teabag when all 4 survivors get out now. That's the only thing that's going to be in Yamoka's face. Like, I can't stand that. And all it does for me is piss me off that Spirit was nerfed. Again. We catered again. We gave in again. The killers have nothing. We have nothing except survivor mistakes, and that's not good. It really brings that argument back into question now. Are there good killer mains, or are there just bad survivors? Before, I think it could be argued that there were good killers, because of the fact that somebody had viable killers to work with. Now, because every killer isn't viable, I still think, like, obviously, there's a higher skill of killer mains, but I really think victory in this game now for a killer determines how bad of the survivors you're playing against are, and that's fucking terrible game design. And I don't think we're gonna fix it because the majority of this player base is low-rank survivors. It's a fundamental issue with the design of the fucking game. And the way we choose to balance it. We should not be balancing this game for the fucking casuals. I hate games that do that. Because it pisses me off that just because I'm dedicated and the fact that I'm just gonna accept whatever, right? I'll accept a Spirit nerf, I'll accept a nurse nerf, I'll accept the fact that every killer in this game is fucking trash. I'll accept it because I'm in the purple ranks. So it doesn't matter what I think, because I'm going to play no matter what. Like, I'm sorry, I have a real problem with getting treated like that. And that's trash to me. Ugh. And again, I think this chapter, at this time, signifies the core issues with this game more than any other. Like, seriously, like, we're gonna fucking rub the salt in your wounds about the fucking spirit getting nerfed. And like, and then here's the best part. After all that, they want to nerf balance landing. Like, you want to nerf balance landing. We're gonna make it so there's no fucking lag. We're gonna make it so like the fact that all landing lag is decreased when the perk is on when the perk is on cooldown. We're gonna make that go away. We're gonna take that out. So now if you land when balance landing's on cooldown, you take the full landing lag as if it wasn't on cooldown at all. That's what we're gonna do. That's supposed to make up for the fact that we have no viable killers in this game now. You're gonna throw us a fucking Scooby snack. You're gonna say, oh, you wanna keep playing Dead by Daylight for a Scooby snack? You want the truth? Here's the fucking truth. That's how balance landing should have been from day one. The fact that it was the only exhaustion perk in the game that gave you an additional benefit while you were exhausted was crap to begin with. That's how it always should have been in. As soon as exhaustion was implemented into the game, I don't know the game's history. But like the fact that that wasn't how it always was is retarded. And the fact that if you just programmed it in like that to begin with, there'd be nothing to bitch about right now. Because on paper, it's a no-brainer. When the perk is on fucking cooldown, there's no fucking effect that it has. It shouldn't give off an effect when you're on cooldown. That's fucking garbage. The fact that people weren't calling this out before is, I'm surprised it lasted that long. With people being okay with that. And yes, again, you could argue that the core issues are on certain maps like Haddonfield that are already getting reworked. But this is their way of taking the infinites out earlier. But like, people are salty about that. Dude, seriously, you want to get Spirit and Nurse nerfed and then complain that balance landing got a tweak? Like, piss off. Like, and it also shows that we're just by taking balance landing out of the game before Haddonfield gets reworked. That's where your priorities are. That's how we're gonna get the infinites out of the game, the lazy way, not the way that's gonna be better for the game in the long run, which is the Haddonfield rework. I would take a reworked Haddonfield over a balance landing nerf any day of the fucking week, because Haddonfield is a terrible map. Terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. And every time I play at Haddonfield, I groan because it's a terrible map. Not even for the balance landing. Like even if every survivor, if balance landing wasn't in this game, Haddonfield would still be a bad map. Let's not kid each other. There's core issues with the game, and the devs are addressing the fact that they either one, don't understand them, or two, don't care. It's either ignorance or negligence, and I hate both of them. Both of them piss me off. And so, with like all that being said, all this chapter does is remind me that the game is flawed. And it's because they keep shoving Yamoka in our face right now. I don't want to hear about Yamoka. I don't want to hear about the spirit. I need time to heal my wounds for the fact that we just lost the last viable killer we fucking had in this game. Who's next? Billy? Who's next? Ghostface? Ghostface is good again, right? Yeah, Ghostface is good again because True Talent broke Ghostface. Again, that's what True does. True Talent keeps delivering us gold that's gonna eventually get nerfed. That's what happened with Jengrad Spirit. It's gonna happen with Ghostface. You don't think Ghostface is gonna get a terror radius soon? You don't think they're gonna fix Night Shroud? Yeah. Because what are survivors gonna bitch about when they once they lose things to bitch about? Okay, Spirit's fixed, Nurse is fixed. What's next? Billy and Ghostface. Like we're gonna keep going down the tier list. How long till Huntress gets nerfed? How long till Huntress base carries 3 hatches? How long, people? How long? And I can sit here and talk about how to fix the game all fucking day. It doesn't matter. No one's gonna listen to anything I have to say. I have a fucking document full of buffs that I could give all the killers, but it's like no one's gonna fucking listen anyway. The buffs I want aren't gonna get in the game anyway, so who cares? Like, seriously, who the fuck gives a shit? It's not even worth handing out, and they'll just make me mad anyway, because I just know they're not gonna be in the fucking game. It doesn't matter that the pig needs 5 buffs. It doesn't matter that the Wraith needs a rework. It doesn't matter that Legion needs a rework. It doesn't matter that Leatherface needs buffs. It doesn't matter. They're not going to get them. Why are we asking for them? Mark my words, people. What about that Doctor buff we were supposed to get 6 months ago? How they announced the Doctor was going to get add-on buffs over the summer. Where the fuck are those? How come Spirit and Nurse were both nerfed before we got that announced Doctor buff? Can I ask that? I'm still on that fucking Doctor buff, guys. Where's that Doctor buff? Because Doctor getting buffs was signified to me that we were going to be moving in the right direction with this fucking game. It's all a crock of shit, people. It's all a crock of shit. Don't expect anything good out of this game in the future. Okay, that out of the way, let's talk about the new chapter. Again, I don't like the Oni. He's ugly to look at. I've seen some gameplay of him. From a gameplay perspective, he actually doesn't look that bad. He has to injure people, he collects their blood, and then powers up, and they can instant down them and kind of run faster around the map once he does it. I don't like how he loses his power instantly upon picking up a survivor. I think that needs to go. Once it's fully charged, I think that needs to end because slugging is not good unless you're desperate. And you can really, that's slugging kind of a desperation move. I don't particularly like that because that means you'll have to be bouncing around and people have to be grouped and it's for you to get maximum effect out of this power. I think he could be fun, and I think maybe in 6 months, if I am over my whole phase I'm in right now and I'll come back to the game, I might really enjoy him. But right now I don't want anything to do with him because of the fucking salt I have over the spirit nerves, and I don't want anything to do with it. But from a gameplay perspective, he looks like he's gonna be okay. So if you're still in the game, fine. He looks like he's gonna be okay. I'm gonna get him on the Switch and for the PlayStation. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna play as him. But I'm just, this chapter does nothing for me beyond the fact that I'm just gonna get it because it's a product. That's all I do is consume product. That's what I do. I consume product. I contribute to the capitalist economy. Okay, let's go over his fucking perks because you can't talk about his power, and plus I'm not good enough to qualify that. Go watch True Talent. His perks. I haven't played him. His perks look garbage. I'm just gonna say that right now. Zashin Tactics is fucking windows of opportunity for killers. Just learn where all the shit is. All the auras of pallets and vault locations are revealed to you. Cooldown for fucking 40 seconds. It's windows of opportunity for killers. Get good, know where the shit is. You don't need this perk. This perk is bad. Great, that one's useless. What's next? Blood Echo. When hooking a survivor. Okay, that's a terrible activation condition because you actually have to down somebody. That's one of the hardest things to do as killer. Great, so that's a terrible activation condition. What are we getting? All other injured survivors. Okay, also bad because who the fuck stays injured anymore with perks like fucking Will Make It, fucking Inner Strength, self-care with insta-heal medkits to heal you in 8 seconds. Who the fuck's staying injured anymore at high level? Like, seriously. And then what do they get? The hemorrhage status effect. Okay. Cool, I guess. They get to drop more blood. That might help his power go off because they're dropping more blood. And then the exhaustion status effect for 45 seconds. Okay, you have to be injured, so... And if they're already what if they're already exhausted? Does it stack on? Or if David King's already exhausted and he has 2 seconds left, his exhaustion goes away upon the hook and then he's fine again. Like this perk is useless. The fact that they have to be injured means you're never gonna get any use out of it. You might get some crutch snowballing with it, but snowballing is a thing killers can do anyway. You don't really need this perk to snowball. Its main purpose is for snowballing. Because you want to get quick downs by negating their exhaustion perks when they're already injured. But the thing about that is you can snowball anyway. The fact that somebody's on the hook, you're supposed to have it down by the time that somebody unhooks them. That's the idea. Or at least by the time that they're fully healed. So yeah, you might be able to do that a little easier, but knowing where people are is half the battle. Then you have to down them. So... Granted, you get some extra tracking and some extra chase potential with this, but again, they have to be injured. This means this perk isn't seeing play until you either have it's too situational, and it doesn't add enough to killer snowballing in my opinion to where it's actually going to be relevant or needed. So I think it's trash. I don't think there's any reason that you'd run this. I really don't. I mean, maybe Billy can get some use out of it, or any killer that's fast. Like, I guess he could get some use out of it if he hooks somebody and then dashes to him with his power. But, like, you're instant-downing people anyway, so the fact that they don't have exhaustion, it doesn't really matter. Or might not matter. Because if somebody's injured, you can one-shot them anyway. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see what it does for the character. I just think it's not good enough for a perk slot, which is, like, what I could say about all these fucking killer perks nowadays. And then the last one, Nemesis. Again, they become afflicted by the Oblivious status effect for 40 seconds. And their aura is shown to you for 4 seconds. Every time they stun you with something. I don't know. I just don't think that's gonna do very much. I run Object of Obsession, though, so maybe they fixed the Oblivious status effect, because before the Oblivious status effect with Object worked to where if you still had the aura when you got the Oblivious status effect, you could still see him. I mean, that might be his best perk just because of the Oblivious status effect, but, like, I don't know. I don't see why it would be worth a perk slot. It might counterbalance landing on one guy, because if he's Oblivious, then for 40 seconds, then maybe your terror radius won't go off. So you might be able to counterbalance landing on one guy. Fucking, if that's what it's supposed to do, then Dark Devotion's better than it. And who runs Dark Devotion to counterbalance landing? Nobody. So it's like, what, I don't understand what it's supposed to do. Like, what does that do for anybody? Like, assuming you're chasing somebody, like, that doesn't work with Dying Light, because if you get stunned by somebody you're chasing, they become your obsession, so you won't get a stack on Dying Light. Like, what does that do? What synergy does that have with anything? Like, I don't get that. You're running it for the Oblivious status effect, I guess. But it's like, bruh. That's not good enough to warrant that. Like, I don't get what it's there to do, I guess. Maybe I'm stupid, though. Maybe my 2 weeks of not playing have helped me. It made me fall out of the meta so much that this is what the meta is for killer now. Are we that pathetic now that this is what we're going to be running? No, we're going to be running Hex Ruin, Sloppy Butcher on this guy to fucking slow down the healing, and it has a semi-mangled, so... Not mangled, it has a semi-hemorrhage status effect, so you'll be able to get you're going to run Sloppy Butcher, Hex Ruin. This is going to be a complete M1 killer, guys. Well, maybe not completely, but, like, he's going to have a completely basic build, because no killer perks are helping us right now. All 3 of these perks are ignorable, just like every other killer that comes out. Don't expect it to get any better. This is what behavior does. Of course, the survivors, on the other hand, have options, because of course they do. That's how the game works. Survivors get stuff we don't. That's where the game's going right now. So what are the fucking Survivors perks? I like the Survivor. I think that's something I'll say. She's definitely the best part of the chapter. I like her little motorcycle. She's definitely a cool chick. Anyway, any means necessary. Hold the active ability button to fix a fucking pallet that's dropped. Has a cooldown of over 2 minutes. Yeah, you're never gonna get this. You're gonna get this off one time in a game maximum. Because most killers break pallets. And fucking... It's honestly like, if the pallet's down, you can still play around it anyway. And depending on how safe it is, you could play around it as good as you could before. I mean, you'll get it off once in a game, maybe. But it's like, I don't think that's worth taking into the game. Its cooldown's too long. If its cooldown was shorter, then maybe. But I don't. You might get some gimmick plays with it. Like if you're running SWF, then you could like if you're running SWF, the communication between your team might get you more use out of this. But for a random survivor group, that you're gonna want to stick to something more traditional. Breakout, it's just the fucking bully. It's a bully SWF perk. So if you're running SWF, you can run this and bully killers with it. That's what this is. It's not that great in randoms, but SWF, it's going to be a big bully perk. It's supposed to counter Iron Grasp, Agitation, and maybe Mad Grit. I don't know if... Maybe Mad Grit? I'm not sure. It's just a bully SWF perk. That's what Breakout is. And then the last one's Lucky Break. It's just the second part of No Mither. So now you can combine Lucky Break and Iron Will to have No Mither without the downside. So Claudette's gonna fucking love this, in other words. So like now you can run, I don't know, Sprint Burst, self-care maybe, or maybe you could just ditch self-care and run something else. Sprint Burst, Lucky Break, Fixated, and Iron Will. There's a Claudette build. Run it. Just, you could basically get all the good effects of No Mither without having to, run No Mither, because No Mither is terrible. So, of course, that perk definitely has a lot of synergy for a lot of stealth builds. So, of course, the survivors get some stuff, killers get nothing. So, Lucky Break is gonna be is a decent perk that people are actually probably going to run. And then the other two, granted they're gimmick SWF, but like just what we need. We need catering to SWF because that's not strong enough yet. Like, do you see what I mean, people? We got 2 survivor perks that cater to SWF for their maximum usage. And this game doesn't have core issues right now. This game has core fundamental problems, and I'm irritated about it. I think that's the thing we should convey with this video. But I'll play the chapter, and maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe I'll come out, maybe I'll make another video that goes, Leone is the best thing ever, and I'm so glad he's in the game. Unlikely, but I might. You never know. I can change, can I? And maybe, hopefully, this game will change for the better in the future. We need some killer buffs, desperately, and I really hope that we get a little bit more next patch than a fucking balanced landing nerf that should have been implemented in the game in the first place. Thank you. That's all I got.